Tushar, at this point, because Teesta Setalvad has had cases against her, all of these allegations of misusing funds that were taken in the name of, back then, the riot victims. Do you think this could also expose that there have been people who have come across to appear to be reaching out for the victims but have misused their position?
Absolutely, absolutely. There are a lot of people, authors masquerading as activists, lawyers masquerading as some crusader of truth. A lot of people have actually run this as a business for the last 20 years. And that is what the Supreme Court indirectly said yesterday, that this entire business of keeping the pot boiling for one's own ulterior motives needs to come to an end. I'll give you one statement about the credibility of Teesta Setalvad. You know what did she say about the CAA? She said that the CAA is designed to be against the Muslims, against the Dalits, against the Adivasis of India. Tell me, where does it make sense? This is the credibility of a woman. She was at Singhu standing with the farmers who were the troublemakers on 26 January. It's not like we're talking about an activist with great credibility. Today, interrogation needs to happen as to who Teesta Setalvad was acting on the orders of. Where were the funds coming from? Why were the funds diverted? Who are these victims that were tutored? Why were they tutored? What was the motivation? It needs to come out in the open. Let me put this very importantly. Teesta is just one of the people in this entire ecosystem. The question that arises is, who was running, who was calling the shots within this ecosystem at the higher level? Was it a party? Was it an enemy state? Was it a private organization? Who was calling the shots? Who was
so let's take closing comments both from Yogesh and Tushar here. Yogesh, first to you. At this point, I understand that you support Teesta and that's your view to take, but do you think at this point, if there's anyone who's misused their positions with regard to the riot victims, and there have been convictions in the past as well, and how there was also about the train burning, all of that has been brought in, that no activist or nobody should be misusing for their motives, if at all, as the court also says, with regard to the real riot victims?
There, you said it, Pooja, you said if at all. So then the if at all has been decided time and again by courts.
What I have said is like Teesta Setalvad.
This ecosystem has continuously gone after activist by tarnishing their name, their reputation and bragging on these cases. The swiftness with which yesterday's case happened and today they immediately picked up Teesta. Did you see this same kind of swiftness happening when Zakia Jafri was going on calling the same police machinery? Was that happening by the Gujarat state? No, it was not. It took its own sweet time. 9 hours after he was dead is when the rapid action force finally came in there. So this is a state machinery which has been complicit, and it has been repeatedly been borne out in various fact-finding reports. So for them to then run away from that, and I am saying that the Supreme Court has ruled in this, but that doesn't mean that a lady who has seen this carnage happen in front of her will not be trying to go on.
Zakia Jafri did was primarily with regard to her views on what happened in Gulbar, but who was pushing the larger conspiracy. My final question, and you can give your view also there, Tushar, add on to what you have to say. At this point, do you think what is happening, as you can see, is going to be made out that this is clearly about them being deliberately targeted, and all of this was just standing up for the victims? But do you think if there is a conspiracy of using these victims, it needs to be called out? And therefore, 2002, as we all know, have been constantly brought up in our narratives. You know, in compared to any other tragedy, 2002 has been constantly mentioned. With the Supreme Court today giving a clean chit to Narendra Modi, do you think it will end the matter? Should it end the matter? Or perhaps the courts are always open for anyone who wants to challenge it?
Pooja, see, this is a very important question. We keep going on loop and loop on what happened during the Gujarat riots, who was responsible, who was calling the police. What we forget is convictions have been made. Convictions have been made. People have been sentenced for their role in the riots. But what we have seen with the likes of Teesta is that they are launching a manhunt against one person. And there is a larger element involved in it. The Godhra is just one of the issues. They can pick up CA tomorrow, NRC, NPR. The idea is to create a perception in the international forums that the government today, led by Narendra Modi, is anti-minority. This is the larger game that is being played out, that to create a perception that this government is anti-minority. Godhra is just one of the issues they're using. If they drop Godhra today, tomorrow they'll pick up CAA. 2 days later, it will be the farm laws. 3 days later, it will be the Ahmedabad program. They're just looking for issues, but the larger perspective is to frame this government as anti-minority and cause social unrest.